2 awakened bosses are down and there are 2 to go. Last episode, we killed the 2 easier awakened bosses, Whisperer and Duke. Today, we take on a new challenge, the hardest bosses in the entire game, Awakened Vardorvis and Awakened Leviathan. There are a lot of things to click and actively dodge during the Awakened Vardorvis. This meant that similar to every other Awakened boss, we have to learn it on our ult to save Awakener orbs. Having both a Scythe and a Blood Fury is as easy as this boss can get. While an SRA is better DPS, it is also more punishing to use. It's usually recommended when doing your first ever Vard KC to use a Scythe and Blood Fury. If we can't get it with this gear, we probably can't get a GM Helm. I have not been to this boss since grinding our Ultra Rings 6 months ago. This might be an interesting learning experience. The biggest difference of Awakened Vard versus normal is that in normal Vard you can camp the corners and dodge the axes by running after they spawn. In Awakened, the axes can damage you the same tick that they spawn, so you have to get used to camping 2 tiles away from where they spawn. That way you don't bleed the second they spawn. Being freshly back, I am currently not used to this and constantly running into the axe. The good news is that the hits are being humble, which at least allows me to not die, eat back up, and continue practicing. Right now, I don't really care about DPS. Being only 1 attempt in, I'm only trying to relearn the mechanics and movement of this boss. Alright, well that was a very quick attempt. That's why we use the orbs on the ult. It would probably be smart for me to camp normal Vard while I relearn the movement. That way I could potentially get a teleport and not have to do this run every single time. Unfortunately though, I am not patient enough. We will keep sending Awakened. This account is so bad after playing my Ironman as long as I have. I still need my Draymond staff to get to the boss. I have no actual good teleport to the boss. Things are rough out here. Here we go, attempt number 2. While staying alive and just being able to dodge things for longer is good practice, it would be ideal to reach the thresholds where we get new mechanics. At 50% health, we get orbed a range plus mage hit instead of just 1, and this means we have to change our prayer between range, mage, and back to melee all in 3 ticks. At 33%, Vardorvis becomes enraged, where we get an extra axe, and in general, everything moves very quickly in this last 33%. It is by far the most deadly. This second attempt is night and day difference versus my first. I actually remembered how to click and have used almost no food for the first 50%. This is a great sign. Now it's time to deal with double orbs. Really humbled first double orb there. I didn't have to dodge any axes while flicking. That is the hard part of Awakened Vardorvis. That is why we camp high HP. From 110 HP to 9 in just a couple ticks. We missed 1 prayer flick which turned off our prayer, which led to more damage. We did manage to heal back up with triple heals. We are still in this. A disabled prayer into an axe spawn straight in my face, the deadliest combo ever here. The hit a 72. Realistically, mistakes and misclicks at Vard can be combo eaten back to full HP, as you just saw. The only thing that is super hard to recover from is tanking an axe off prayer. We want to avoid this at all costs, as it is almost always guaranteed death. Think of it like IRL. If someone swung an axe at you when you weren't praying, chances are you would either die or die to the bleeding afterwards. The axes in the game are the exact same. They have bleeding damage afterwards. Getting 1 hit by Vard on the other hand, that won't kill us. Nah, no chance. I panicked a bit when I saw the root plus axe spawn right on top of each other, and I ate the axe. I still made it to sub 500 HP though. We are definitely getting better. I think that this is attempt number 4. We are just now entering Enrage. I made sure to heal above 99 right before entering it, just in case. Oh my god, not the 81. I am really bad at flicking orbs plus moving in the same tick. It definitely does not help that I did this content so long ago. I have survived a root plus axe dodge. Straight into the floor 10 seconds later. I really need to get better at flicking mage in range. Another enrage attempt? Getting to these consistently with a full inventory of food means it's only a matter of time. Very, very high chance that the reason I clicked here is I wanted to attack Vard. Lesson learned. Never greed hits. Stay alive. I'm getting insanely lucky on the axe spawns right now. Oh my god, that was attempt number 10 or so. We got medium combat achievements from that. This is huge. I mean medium. Here's the thing, I know I was spooned on that kill. That enrage had minimal amount of times where I had to move plus pray in the same tick. So I know I needed more practice. Ouch. Just the very next attempt, we had an enrage where we got 4 sets of axes without having to move once during enrage. This felt illegal. Like that shouldn't have even been a kill. This kill I also tested with the ranker, which meant no free heals throughout the kill, and it ended up being a sub 3-minute kill. I think at this point, even if I wasn't fantastic at Vard, I was good enough to get a kill. It might not be the first attempt, but surely within a couple tries, we'd have an easy enough enrage to be able to do it. It is now time for 789 to kill Awakened Vardorvis. Our first attempt on the iron, we got to enrage, so the pace was nice. But remember from our ult 2 kills, we need RNG on our side and humble axe spawns. Oh wow, that was a lot. So close too. Our first attempt was close, but we were not humbled. Not to worry though, we still had about 40 orbs to go. At the very least, the recovery on this account is a lot quicker since I have the teleport. What? Why did I click so late? That was a tough kill. We had a lot of times where we took damage, triple ate back to full HP, and got back in cycle. Unfortunately, not good enough though. Wrong order. I just died at 600 HP remaining. My worst attempt on the Ironman yet. I just missed the prayer. Come on. Dead. Oh my god, I recovered. Wow, I played so bad earlier and I recovered. We're good. That was 4 whole minutes of fighting for my life. We did it though. Awakened Vard, the 3rd Desert Treasure 2 boss, has fallen. Here are the final stats on the leaderboard for the Awakened Vardorvis. We ended 2-21 on the ult and 1-6 on the Ironman. Funnily enough, our Ironman has more deaths at Duke than Vard. But no doubt Vard was harder, as you can clearly tell from the ult's attempts. Next up, we have the Leviathan. This boss is more challenging than Vard for 2 reasons. The first being I have not really grinded KC yet. I'm not too great at the boss even normally. I only have 100 KC, which means I'm doing some normal KC right now to get used to it. And 2, I don't have a Webweaver bow. It might sound silly to be gear checked on my Ironman when I have all 3 mega rares, but the Webweaver bow is actually huge for the Leviathan. The reason is that Enrage is the hardest part of the fight, and the Webweaver bow can basically have the duration of Enrage, making it easier to survive. The Enrage phase spawns an orb in the last 20% HP of the boss, and the orb gives us 100% accuracy and makes our weapon stronger. Having 2 Webweaver specs pretty much deletes the boss. Right now this is normal Enrage, and trust me, the Awakened will be significantly harder. After about 20 normal kills, I was happily reminded that I don't have the GM time task for this boss yet. And luckily for me, similar to Whisperer, this is one of the worst GM times in the game. It's not as bad with the ZCB because the spec can hit at 110, but again, as an Ironman without fully max gear, this is definitely going to be a time. The Grandmaster time is 1 minute and 10 seconds, whereas our current PB is 1 minute and 30 seconds. The reason our PB is way off is because it is only possible to get this by using Ruby Bolts, which we do not normally use for money KC. So now, every kill we want to do, we bring our Dragon Hunter crossbow since we don't have an Armadillo and attack the boss. Every attack, there is a chance we can hit our bolt special, which damages the boss a 100. After hitting 2 or 3 specials depending on the boss's HP, we switch to our Bofa to hopefully try to proc Enrage ASAP. This kill I was actually pacing. and I only needed 2 more big hits at 50 seconds. Instead, when I was 1 hit off, I hit 3 zeros. This is the enjoyment of going for annoying GM times. We get to get close and then just noodle. On the bright side, I get to practice my enrage with Dragon Knives specs. These are really good for the same reasons Webweaver is, but it's a lot harder to do since they attack every 2 ticks. We have to click the boss, special attack orb, flick prayer accordingly, and move with the orb all together. Look at how much quicker that died. 2 D-Knives specs and then 2 T-Bow hits. That kill at least got us to master time, but we basically have a lot of ruby resetting to do ahead of us. I was getting the full kill every time for a bit, knowing I have to grind this one day, but eventually I was getting impatient, and if I wasn't hitting big enough on the first set of orbs, I would just leave and rejoin for a proper ruby reset. This kill was very good pace. I hit big for my first few hits and then ended the first set with a ruby. Leviathan was already down 200 HP. A 3rd ruby. Now we just have to hit big. I meant to stun here, but I messed up and was accidentally attacking with my T-Bow, which is worse DPS than the Bofa. It was too hard to stun while flicking prayers for every 1 tick, so I had no choice but to wait and hope. This kill was still pacing. Rough, still 5 seconds off. During that enrage, I should have started with the Dragon Knives specs, but I panicked. On top of that, I did what the Dragon Knives are known to be bad for. I lost a tick while speccing at the end, and when you lose 1 tick on a 2 tick weapon, that is 50% worse DPS. It is significantly punishing. Oh my god, I just lost 2 ticks trying to sip a Surge Pot. And I missed the time by 2 ticks. No! I missed my orb on the 4th hit and didn't spec. 1 game tick off the time. If only. Horrible proc spot, bad angle, range pot ended, good grief. Oh my god, I got it! With that GM time finally out of the way, we were ready. It is time to learn the Awakened Leviathan. Similar to the Awakened Duke, Red Eye Jedi has an insanely solved guide for this boss. That is why our screen and tile markers look a bit disgusting, but I promise each and every single one of them have a purpose. This boss has a really nice rhythm to it pre-enrage. I think it's about 3 to 5 minutes of constantly just stunning the boss, handling it special, and repeating. You don't really ever have to deal with the Leviathan attacking you when doing this method, because every single tile is labeled for where to barrage/stun at, that's the B tile, where to place boulders at, that's the start and color tiles, and the lightning itself is always dodgeable just by simply running around the boss. Small mistakes/taking some damage is never a big deal here, because when you do all of this properly, it is literally a 0 damage boss. So mistakes are allowed, we just simply eat back up. At 50% health, a tornado spawns that chases us for the rest of the kill, but as long as we're always moving and remember to step back during lightning, we should never eat it. If we do eat it, it's only 50 damage, which again is no big deal, you can just heal back up. The one thing here that is not recoverable is running the opposite way after stunning and not shooting the Leviathan in time. That was a lesson learned, we always have to go clockwise. It took quite a few tries to get used to all of the rules, as there's a lot going on pre-enrage, but thankfully those orbs were on my ult. On attempt number 5 or 6, it was finally happening. We played everything right and we're going to see the enrage phase. This is the hardest part of the fight and maybe even game. Remember how I mentioned during the speed time that dragon knives were overwhelming to use because you have to click so many things at once? Well, welcome to Awaken Leviathan, where while we camp a 5-tick bow, we still have to click so many things at once. Every single tick the Leviathan attacks us with either a mage or range attack, meaning we have to swap accordingly. On top of that, we have to be moving with the orb, because if we fall out, we will instant die because the attacks will do chip damage on us. Then we also have the tornado chasing us, while also having boulders fall around the arena during the fight, which we could potentially path onto if we're not careful. Finally, on top of all of that, we have to remember to actually click the boss to attack it. Welcome to Awaken Leviathan. Oh, I just procced Enrage when I wasn't ready. I also forgot to mention that if you're within melee distance, the Leviathan can bite you. About 8 or 9 attempts in, I started getting to Enrage every single time. We had the first 80% of the fight down. The last 20% is all we had to survive. You can probably imagine how nice a web weaver would be. The first 6 ticks of the fight, where we don't have to dodge anything, we can dump 2 specs for a free 150 to 200 damage. Unfortunately though, we are stuck learning this with just a T-bow. I'm starting to survive a lot longer, and sub 100 HP is a new personal best. You may have noticed as well that I never try to eat during Enrage. That is because it is a guaranteed death sentence. We always want to start Enrage with 122 HP and then just pretend we have no food. The Enrage scene ends when someone kisses the floor. No eating is allowed. Oh, okay! Still above 100 HP, and we have done it. That got us the Blorva kit on the ult, plus, more importantly, a tablet to teleport to the Leviathan. With a tablet to teleport, it felt like a sign to practice even more. So I continued sending on the ult for more practice, but unfortunately I never got to get another kill. The Enrage was just so hard. It might click once or maybe I'll get lucky, I don't know. But getting it every single time was just too unrealistic, I think. There was one good thing about this. This was my last Awakened boss on the Ironman. I still had about 40 orbs remaining since the other bosses were so humble. I didn't even take 40 orbs on the ult to get my first KC. So realistically, I could doomsend on the Ironman until I get it. The first attempt I didn't play too well. I made a lot of simple mistakes and ran out of food before Enrage. I did however get to start it with 99 HP, so it wasn't the worst attempt in the world. Okay, maybe the flicking during the Enrage was also bad. $130 HP, close. Every attempt is so close, yet so far. No! The boulders dragged me out of sight. I just had to walk past them and attack ahead of them. I greeted. Seeing that 24 HP off made me want to try something. Yes, while I may not have a web weaver bow, People do usually dump their 2 specs at the beginning of Enrage, before any attacks register. I want to try that for the first time ever on Awaken with Dragon Knives. I will spec before the Leviathan attacks me, and then just T-bow the rest of the kill. Alright, I spec'd once on the wrong tile and completely panicked. Oh, dude, my heartbeat. Oh my god. That was insane. I completely botched the D-knife plan, took so much damage in the beginning, and still played near the end perfectly and got the kill. That is every single Awaken boss fallen and a Blorva kit for when we one day get Torva. Here are the final stats on the Leviathan boss fight. 22 deaths on the ult and 10 for the Ironman. What a challenge. All that's left for a GM helm now is the remaining top CAs. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. TY for watching, and I will catch you all next time when we have our new helmet on.